I've been asked in the comments what drove me to seek psychotherapy. I've had many therapists throughout my lifetime for various things, but 2 therapists in the last 2 years alone. The first was a BetterHelp therapist who I had first sought for therapy when the covert narcissistic abuse that felt so deeply wrong was occurring. I didn't know it was narc abuse at the time, which is why I was seeking therapy. What is wrong with me, with them, with both? He inadvertently gaslit me further. Lots of, maybe your interpretation of the situation isn't correct. What can you do differently for this to not happen? I now realize that very few therapists truly know the extent of narcissistic abuse and narcissistic fallout. What made me seek out my current psychotherapist was literal physical symptoms. For the last 2 years, I have felt like the interactions with my in-laws are giving me cancer. As the abuse continued to get worse, I had pretty constant heart palpitations, sometimes so severe that I had to lay down on the floor to keep from fainting. I had what I can best describe as cancerous butterflies in my stomach. I had headaches, constant and intense muscle pain, loss of appetite, chronic insomnia, irritability, and mental fog like nothing I've ever experienced before. I felt so sick all the time, so plagued by constant anxiety that I sought help of a psychotherapist at the practice I'm currently a client of. He helped identify the hypervigilance syndrome of my nervous system being in hyperdrive from constantly fearing, what's next? Where will the attack come from? Who will it be from? What will it be? The body keeps the score. Not only is this true, but it's the name of a book I'm reading, a book about trauma. We usually think of trauma as a thing that happens in very extreme circumstances: rape, molestation, domestic abuse. But this is acute trauma, which is not the only kind. There remains a subtler and less graphic source of trauma: chronic emotional abuse. Bessel van der Kolk's research, the author of this book, has shown that such abuse and neglect can be just as devastating as physical abuse. Traumatized people lose their sense of purpose and direction because they cannot check in with themselves about what they truly want and need due to the helplessness and inability to escape the situation they are in. Stress hormones flood your body, leading to muscle aches, bowel problems, fatigue, and a myriad of other issues. Anyway, surprisingly quickly after I went no contact with my abusive in-laws 8 weeks and 2 days ago, and put my potentially covert narc abuser husband in his place 7 weeks ago, I noticed an astonishingly abrupt improvement in my chronic pain. I had had this pain for years, but nothing healed me faster from my chronic pain than saying enough to my abusers. My palpitations calmed, the cancerous butterflies flew away. But that is all back this week, and it doesn't take a whole lot of introspection to figure out why. It's my birthday on Friday. And not only is it my birthday on Friday, it's my eldest daughter's birthday as well. Birthdays are huge in the worldview of my in-laws, and I am trying not to put the proverbial funeral before the death, the cart before the horse, but I just can't imagine that they'll let the day go by without doing something to reinsert themselves in our lives. I just want peace, and I'm scared.